good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Anne Manera, and we are live this morning for a very, very exciting start of a new Color Along book, Color Along Volume 11. So let's say good morning to everyone, and of course, Paisley and Scarlett are eager to get going this morning. Each one of them have their coloring page. They have their coloring tools, and I'm about to go get them a bone so that they can settle down. But in the meantime, we are coloring a page today from Color Along Volume 11. Let's make sure that everyone has the page that we are coloring this morning. I know, Paisley. It's going to be exciting, isn't it? Here's the page we're coloring this morning. For those of you that have purchased the book, you're in a private Color Along group. And everyone should have this Pointillism packet that we'll be going over today. If you're part of the Color Along group, you'll get these PDF packets. Today's Color Along, I've offered this PDF packet as a freebie on my website so that everyone can kind of get a taste of what we're doing for this book. Because this book is going to be a little bit different than the other Color Along books, and we're diving into a little bit of art history, art appreciation. We're going to talk about different artists throughout history as we move along. And we're going to apply different artists' techniques and genres in art to our coloring pages. So let me go get my dogs to be quiet. This is the page, Jen. So here's the page. I'm going to leave that page out for everyone. I'm using Crayola Super Tips this morning. So that's what I'm using. I'm using Crayola Super Tips. Not those colors, but that's what I'm using. So everyone, get yourself something to drink. Give the dog a bone. Go to the bathroom if you need to. We'll be together for the next hour. I'm going to get these guys settled, and we'll begin in just a couple of minutes. So let's say good morning to everyone, first of all. Super tips. They're super tips, Alexandria. It's like, super freak. Isn't it like that? Super freak, super fly. Super tips. I'm going to just change the name. How about that? Let's change the name of those. Okay, Alexandria always likes to give me a hard time because she likes my accent and she wishes that she had an accent like this. But one day, Alexandria is going to be my co-host. She doesn't know it or not, but I'm going to have her be my co-host. And we can make fun of each other's accents. That would be hysterical, wouldn't it, Alexandra? That would be a riot. Okay, let's get down to business. Let's get serious and take a look at what we're about to do today. So, first of all, let's say good morning. Good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Holly. Hey, Abby. Heather's here with us this morning. Adina is here with us from Israel. How cool is that? Good morning, Marvin. Haven't seen you in a while, Marvin. How have you been? Good morning, Melody. Jamie's joined us. Mary's joined us. Sarah's joined us. Hey, Alexandria, once again. Who else am I missing? Tammy. Hello, Tammy. How are you today? Good morning, Brenda Snyder. Sarah Wolf has joined us. Good morning to Judy. Good morning to Jen. Good morning to Julie. Who else? Ellen. Good morning, Ellen. Good morning, Mamie. Tammy Myers has joined us. If I've missed anyone, my apologies. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know if I said good morning to Alice or not, but I know that she was here. I don't know if she's popped back out. But good morning, everyone. So hey, Beth. Hey, Lynn. Lynn Miller is my dot. Lynn is a dot fan. Bonnie Miller has joined us. Good morning, Bonnie Miller. So feel free to share this video. My goal today is to get that little eyeball up to 50. I always like to set a high goal for myself and see if we can reach it. We're already up to 31. That's the most I've seen it in quite a while. Hey, I am not the winner. Bonnie, Lynn is asking, Bonnie, are you the winner of the Black Widow pencils? I'm not the winner of the Black Widow pencils either. You must have an accent to me, Alexandra, so we're going to have to find out one day. Hey, Lisa Ackroyd, what is happening, you guys? So we are coloring today in Color Along Volume 11 using my Crayola Super Tips, not Super Tips, but Super Tips. And this is Volume 11. Now, let's talk about, first of all, what is different about Volume 11. So usually a color along is just kind of a get-together. Sometimes we call it a color along meeting. I think this book is definitely deserving of calling it a color along meeting. And usually we just kind of go over a coloring tutorial. We sit, we chat, hey, Jeannie Davis is in, and we kind of just color together, right? Learn different techniques. So what I've done with Color Along Volume 11 is I kept thinking, what can we do to make it a little bit better? What can we do to make it a little bit more exciting? And I decided to take my knowledge of art history. I have a pretty strong background in art history, so I decided to take my knowledge of art history and go on to merge art history and famous artists throughout history in different art genres and different forms of painting, like Impressionism and Pointillism and maybe abstract art and a fresco style, and then take a look at some different artists like Andy Warhol and Piet Mondrian, and we're gonna, just to name a couple, and kind of color a page in the style of those artists and be able to walk away from Color Along Volume 11 and be able to kind of say, hey, I know who that artist is. Look at that. That is Piet Mondrian, or that is Andy Warhol. And do it in a way that it is not overwhelming, and do it in a way that is not intimidating. Because I'm going to tell you, coming from someone who has sat through many art history lectures in college, it is a little daunting, and it can be very boring, and the lights are off, and you're looking at slides, and you need to know a lot of information about the art that's being presented. So let's take a snippet of all of that, and let's talk about all of that in the coloring world. And that's where I want to make it so that it's a little less intimidating, and we're going to try it out. And not every single color along will touch upon an artist, because we don't want to present too much information. But for today's color along, we're dealing with pointillism, and pointillism in the form of the style of art and pointillism painting. And we're going to take a look at two artists who developed that style, who kind of like are the founders of pointillism. And then we're going to take that information that we're learning today about pointillism, and we're going to apply it to this coloring page. Now, a couple of things that we need to know. If you have, this is a free color along. Anyone can watch these color alongs. If you have purchased the book, the color along book, you're part of a private group. If you've purchased the book and you have not yet messaged me or emailed me, please make sure you do so I can add you to the private group. We will meet every Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern live from now until April 17th. And this schedule is on the group page. Today we're dealing with pointillism. Wednesday, for example, we're going to talk about Piet Mondrian, and we're going to color a page in the style of Piet Mondrian. If you're part of the group, you're going to get a packet, a PDF, that's going to be posted in the group and posted on a password-protected page of my website. This packet will be additional information for the color along for that scheduled day. So this packet for pointillism has been posted on the group today. You have access to this. You could print it out. And the packet for Wednesday for Mondrian is also been posted on the Facebook group, the private Facebook group, and on the password protected page of my website. For today's color along, because so many people are so interested in what's happening today, and this is totally new. We're diving into new coloring territory, right? We are diving into something that has never been done before in the coloring world, in the coloring book communities. I don't think anyone's ever done this before. So we're going to I'm offering this pointillism PDF packet to everyone. It's a freebie on my website. So if you're watching right now, you can go to my website, you can go under freebies, and you can get this Pointillism package. If you're having trouble looking for that, then just send me a message, and I will make sure that I get that to you at the end of this video. So, where shall we begin? So let's take a look. First of all, does anybody have any questions about what's going to happen? I mean, I don't want this to be overwhelming. I don't want it to be a lot of information. We're still going to be coloring for the sake of coloring and for the pure enjoyment of coloring. And when I do these color alongs, we're going to touch upon all of the information. Like today, we're going to touch upon the coloring for today that is about Pointillism, but for the people that are in the color along group for this book, for book 11, volume 11, can you believe there's 11 volumes of this book? Then these packets will be provided, and really at that point it's kind of self-guided, and I will be providing more information in that group so that we can take a look at it. But when we're live, I'm going to go over it, but this is kind of like a companion PDF packet. Does that make sense to everyone? I hope this is clear. So I don't want it to be overwhelming. I will say this. By the end of Color Along Volume 11, I would venture to bet that you will be able to at least walk away and be able to name 2 or 3 artists. You'll be able to take a look at something and say, hey, I know who Andy Warhol is, or hey, I know who Piet Mondrian is. So I want to make sure that that we kind of get it. We want to walk away with learning something, but at the same time, we still want to be art smart, according to Lynn. We are going to be so art smart. We're just going to be like our noses in the air. We're just going to be wearing black all the time, right? That's an artist thing. Artists usually wear black all the time. I wear a lot of black, actually. I think it frees up my creativity for other things. So anyway, so first of all, before we get started today, let's take a look at this Pointillism packet. And I just kind of want to describe to you what Pointillism is. And I'm not going to just kind of read verbatim here, but there's a couple of artists that became the founders of Pointillism. And George Seurat back in the 1800s and up until 1935, actually. But and Paul Signac was another person that became. I have to get rid of this message just popping over on the side of my screen. It's very distracting. Okay. So again, the message. I'm gonna get rid of this message. Paisley, I know you're annoyed by that message too. So, what is Pointillism? Pointillism is all about dots. Now, if you take a look at this painting, and you take a look at this painting here on the bottom, those are all created with dots, with paint. Oh, Paisley. Let's get Paisley to be quiet. So, here's what happens. The proximity of the dots determine whether or not there's going to be a different color, or whether or not the shading or blending is creating. So the closer the dots are, then it's going to look like it's darker. The further apart they are, it's going to look like it's lighter. So what you want to take a look at when we're applying this to coloring is how, hey Paula, you going to leave? Well, thanks for popping in. I hope you can join us again. So the closer the dots are, then the actual it'll create shadows and highlights, and then you can actually create a new color. So that's what's on the second page. So this first page talks about, kind of gives you a little snippet into these 2 artists with links here that you can go on and learn more, and you can become even more smarter, right? Then on the second page of this packet, Pointillism technique applied to coloring pages. And I'm just talking about what happens, and we're going to basically go over all of this while I'm doing this color along. I'm not going to read this verbatim. Judy's comment, I have to read it. I think it's funny how the ladies' bottoms stuck out so much back then. Now they're concerned if the clothes make the butts look big. Hey, do you think that that's like something like is inside her dress though to make that look like that? Don't you think? I think so, right? They put something in there. That's not really her butt. It's like a corset thing going on, right? I don't know. Whatever the heck they put underneath their clothing. Who knows? So the other thing you want to remember, too, is that not every area of the coloring page needs to be colored with dots. So less is more. We're going to go over all of that. So we've got this page. Then we have this page for our notes. And we're going to get going. I'm going to start out using Crayola Super Tips. in some of the areas of my page, I actually am going to color a solid color. Scarlett just does not like what I'm doing right now. I'm going to pop a page behind here. Let's get Scarlett to stop crying. Hey, this is a live color along. You know, the dogs are here. The phone could ring. Go ahead, you guys can go outside. No? While you guys are talking about the era of the bustle and the hoops and the padding under their clothing, which I don't know if I would want to wear that, all that crazy clothing, right? Let's get started with this page. This page can also be found in my book called Cupid's View, which is a part of the View series. So this page can also be found in Cupid's View. Kind of thought it would kind of be a nice kickoff to the color along 11 color along with Valentine's theme. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got this lavender color. I'm not swatching today only because I don't know, there's just a lot going on, you know? So let me get used to these styles of color alongs, because these color alongs are a little bit different. So let me get used to that, and then we'll talk about swatching as we move forward for the rest of the color alongs. But today I'm using Super Tips. This is kind of a lavender color. If you have swatched these Super Tips and you want to share them with the group, then please feel free to post them. Post them over on the Just Color coloring group. That would be awesome. So I'm coloring these areas here with this purple color as a solid color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over and I'm going to add some dots on top of this color. That's what I'm going to start with. My marker seems like it's running out. Only live would that happen, right? When you go live, the marker doesn't work. I don't know why. It's like when the dogs are quiet, then they hit the button, and all of a sudden they say, hey, remember us back here? As they raise their paws. You can use any medium that you want, too. Mary is asking, is Crayola color pencils okay? Hey, you can use anything you want. You can use any medium you would like. I've just decided to use these markers. I don't know why. Just what I picked. I don't usually decide what medium I'm using or what brand I'm using until it's close to time to actually color. Now I'm going to take this dark purple and I'm going to go over this area here. And I'm going to go close enough on the bottom. And then I'm going, as I get to the top, then I am going to kind of get further apart. Now, one of the other things about pointillism is that it actually, it's something that needs to be viewed from about 5 feet behind. So if you were viewing a painting that was on the wall, you need to step back about 5 steps to really kind of get a better look at it. Oh, Scarlett, what is wrong? Yeah, I like the vibrance of the Sharpies too, Judy, but I just don't like the smell. How about you? Scarlett, the whole world is listening to you cry. There you go. Sorry about that wobble. So if you're just joining us today for the very first time for a live color along, my live color alongs are truly live. They're here in my home studio. My dogs are here. The phone could ring, right? The doorbell could ring. You never know what could happen. I don't really know. I know, poor thing, right, Heather? She's just like so pathetic. She needs to just call the, call for help. She likes to cry a lot just to kind of get me going. All right, so I've got all of my dots that are close enough here. And then further apart. So in the coloring book world, in the coloring page world, right, when we're not in the fine arts part of it, because pointillism is really all about a painting technique that's all about the dots, and it's more of a fine art thing. So sometimes in the coloring world, it is something that is considered stippling or dots. Let's take this this kind of reddish color, I guess. And now for this one, I'm going to just kind of give it, again, close here. And I'm just going to go just very close here. And then I'm going to take my, just color that little thing into a solid color. See if I can move this page over a little bit so you can see a little bit better without my hand being in the way. So sometimes people call it stippling. So you can use dots to embellish. You can use them to accent a page. But when you're really taking a look at what pointillism is all about that proximity of the dots. And that's kind of really the basic way to kind of think about what exactly is pointillism. And how does pointillism actually, how can we merge it, you know? Because the reason why I wanted to do this whole merging, talking about artists and artists through history and different genres of art throughout history with this color along book is because I think that what most people do not realize is that there are so many things in life that are affected by art. I mean, everything, right? Every single thing that you do. Imagine walking through the supermarket, Alexandria, supermarket. Imagine walking through and you're food shopping and everything on the shelf is white. It's only in a white box. The whole entire place is white boxes. So somebody designed those boxes. Somebody designed the packaging for the box that those cookies come in. Somebody designed the packaging for that frozen dinner that's going to make you lose weight. And different colors are chosen. I mean, we can go on to the whole thing about why healthy meals are in green and why the stuff that's bad for you is red, because it wants to get your eye excited. So I can't use my Shoppies anymore because of the smell. I'm with you, Sarah. I don't know how anybody uses them. So what I want to kind of, not that I need to tell people this, because I hope that people realize this, but whatever we do was designed by somebody. Somebody designed the car that you drive. So people that can draw and artists that have been trained to draw and design something and create, sometimes people think, oh, it's no big deal, right? It's kind of a big deal because everybody that's how things were created. The clothes you're wearing were designed by an artist. What else? The kitchen that you're sitting in, you know? What's boring, Holly? Hey, good morning, Anna Nation. See, Judy's dog does that too. They act like they're just like so like not paid attention to, right? So we want to just kind of be able to say, hey, you know what? All of this, everything in the world was kind of centered around something that was designed by somebody, whether it was an artist or an industrial designer or, I mean, even a garden, a landscape architect. And we want to really kind of take a look, well, how can we apply that to a coloring page? And design principles about how the coloring page is laid out, all of that come into play. Do you want your eye to move around? And when we talk about where to place the color on the page to kind of get your eye to create movement throughout the entire composition. A composition is just, when we refer to art, a composition is the layout of the actual image. Oh, things being plain white. Yeah, exactly. Very boring. Hey, Mamie. And we're going to talk about that on Wednesday when we talk about coloring in the style of Piet Mondrian. We're going to talk about how the placement of colors can actually play a role in creating a rhythm for your eye to move across that coloring page. Sarah is saying God designed everything. Well, that goes without saying, but God also designed the artist or the designer to design everything. Yes, I totally agree with you, Sarah. So I'm just coloring these circles with this color because we want to have a little bit of a solid color going on to have some sort of a contrast too. And in the pointillism paintings, there were no solid colors like this. Everything was just truly all dots. But as we merge this in the coloring world, we want to be able to actually put more, there's my pen. We want to be able to actually add more dots onto all of these so that it becomes more of a kind of decorative slash true pointillism. So for example, for this heart, I am adding this pink color and I'm putting the proximity, the closeness of my dots closer together along the bottom where that point comes into play. And then as I move up to the top, I'm going to go further apart. And so many of you color already in this style, right? Already use the dots. And I know that Lynn Miller is famous for using dots. Lynn, you're already famous for the dots, right? A lot of Lynn's coloring pages use dots. And Lynn employs the technique of mostly the whole page, right, Lynn? Mostly the whole thing is you use every area, you use dots on every area of your coloring page. Other people, like Diana, I don't know if Diana Mauricio is still with us this morning. I hope you're here, Diana. Diana just finished a page from Cupid's View. And if you have not seen that, Diana needs to post that again on the Just Color coloring group, because I think it was a page from Cupid's View, but it was also the page from the February coloring calendar. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because Diana did exactly this, as far as allowing the closeness of the dots to be on one section of the heart, and then she kind of went on and went further apart. Lois is saying, there we go, now they're awake, back in a few, must feed the heathens. Yeah, isn't it crazy? When my dogs are asleep, I'm like, oh, quiet, right? Yeah, like the dots are floating down to the bottom. That's a good way of looking at it, Judy. Is that what you're talking about? I think you're talking about that, right? Is Mary Ann today? Mary Ann uses a lot of dots too. She does a really, really good job with dots. And I'm not trying to point out anyone and discount anyone else, but I just want to kind of give the things that kind of just come to mind about different styles that I've seen on coloring pages throughout just recently. You know what I mean? Just kind of like what's on the top of my mind just recently that I just remembered that I was actually seeing. So I'm just going to color this one here with this green color, just to kind of give a little bit of an accent. Green is not really a Valentine or heart color, but if you are into all of the chakras throughout your body, then green is your heart chakra color. Hey, Diana, it was very, very pretty. You did a really nice job on that, but did you use those Pentel Sparkle Pops? I need to get my hands on those. Those look really amazing. It looks like just true glitter. I was at Dollar Tree the other day, and they had glitter glue, which I thought would be interesting to paint onto a coloring page. I think I'm going to pick some of that up and see what happens with that. See if I can, I don't know, see what we can do to it. All right, now this page is kind of screaming this color, right? This is kind of like a salmon color. And what I'm going to do with this one is just kind of just give this just further apart. In this area here. I'm going to get the hiccups. So if you are in the Color Along Volume 11 group, you have this packet, this PDF packet, as a companion to the Color Along book. And if you are not part of the group, then you can still be part of the group by purchasing the book. The book is available on Amazon. It's $14.99. It covers 11 weeks of color alongs, 2 a week. So there's 22 color alongs. See, I did my math in my head. How about that? And then you could also buy the PDF if you needed to. Now, if you can join at any time, because the replays of the video will always be available. And they're available here on my Facebook page, and they will also be available with the link on that password protected page of my website. So they'll always be available somewhere that we can watch them. So if you wanted to just kind of binge watch color alongs, right, you could. Sarah's saying, I love those pens, and you can get them in Hobby Lobby if you have one. I have never ever been to Hobby Lobby. Can you believe it? There's one around me, but I don't know why. I've just never been to it. I guess maybe I'm just too much into ordering stuff online, you know? Carol says, that is what I use, the glitter glue. Oh, you do, Carol? All right, I'm going to try it then. I trust Carol's, I trust what Carol's doing. Should we trust you, Carol? I don't know. Should I? Let's add some yellow into the middle of this. So it's just that proximity of those dots and how close they are, right? So now if you take a look, let's take a look back here at this painting right here, which is also known as Sunday Afternoon in the Park. That's kind of what it's known as. It also has a French name. Lena's saying, I like the PDF. I don't like coloring in books. Oh, the PDF for the book. Yeah. A lot of people don't. A lot of people definitely do not. Is the glitter glue that you use, Carol Blaze, is it glitter sticks like Diana is talking about? Or is it, this would look like paint. This look like craft paint. So this one is by George Seurat. And George Seurat was a French painter. And he really started out with Impressionism. And then created this Pointillism technique. And this is the most famous painting that he's known for. And this painting measures 6 feet by 10 feet in real life. It's painted in 1886. And it's real. If you look at this up close, and if you go to this link that's here on this packet, georgeseurat.org, you can see this online, and you can make it bigger, and you can really, really see those dots. And that is really that part is amazing to me, because we're at a time in history, in a present day, that we can go back, we can look at any piece of artwork online, anything. I mean, you don't have to leave your house anymore, right? You don't have to go to a museum. A lot of people don't like to go to a museum. A lot of people, it's too much walking for them. And all you have to do is just take a look at your computer, and you have access at our fingertips to view any type of art that's out there. So take a look at that website with George Seurat, and you can learn more about a lot of his different paintings. It's just really incredible that it is just all made up of dots and using a paintbrush. Talk about patience, right? So when we think about adding dots to coloring pages, you got to kind of think to yourself, well, where did this come from? Where did all of this desire to add all these dots actually come from? And it had to come from somewhere, right? So that's why we take a look at different artists throughout history. So you can actually apply these close together or further apart. So I'm applying it close together, so that proximity of the dots. You can use a variety of different mediums. You can use markers, you could use pencils. I like to use a marker with a chisel tip on it, with a point of a tip, only because I just feel like it gives you more coverage. The other thing that you can do is that you can mix the colors. So right now, all I've done so far is just use one color. But what we're going to do on for my next trick, let's add 2 different colors together so that we can actually mix it. So for example, if we were to we have this pink here. Now, if I want to put another color pink, or if I want to put blue, let's put blue, because pink and blue would make purple. Because pink is part of the red family. Red and blue make purple. And we're going to talk about those primary colors on Wednesday, so that kind of builds upon it. That's the other thing about these color alongs for this book, is that all of the techniques that we use are kind of building upon one another. So Color Along Volume 11 is kind of like a camp, like what we did in camp, I can't keep up with these comments about the glitter. I have to go back and read. So now I'm going to add some blue on top of this. And what this will do is, up close, all it looks like is blue and pink dots. Doesn't really look like anything, right? But if I was to step away and maybe squint a little, like you would do with an Impressionist painting, and that's on the schedule too, when we learn about Impressionism. If I was to squint a little bit, then this may look like it's a little bit in the purple family. So it may look like the color will change a little bit. Right now, it really looks like sprinkles for a cupcake, doesn't it? So for the next one in this middle section, I'm going to use this darker purple here, just because I want to see some sort of a contrast. And again, I'm keeping it close together at the bottom, and then I'm going further up and going further apart, coloring that little section with the purple. So I'm going to do the same thing to all of these sections here. Sometimes you can just use it to embellish a coloring page. Sometimes you can just take some dots, kind of bridge that bridge Pointillism with coloring pages as we merge them together. You can just take some dots, and you can actually just kind of use them for embellishment. Like I could just put a white dot on top of all of these circles if I wanted to. Scarlett had to breathe a heavy sigh at my feet here because she just thinks, that, oh, there she goes again with that white pen, right? Holly said, Alexandria, I want to mention, I got kicked out of a group last night. Oh, this is thank you for saying this, Carol. I was thinking about that last night after you sent me that message. Carol got kicked out of a group for posting as a sale ad. I did not post it as such. It's something Facebook is doing. I figured out if you post and that sale thing shows up on your post, just go to the upper right hand corner and hit that edit button or dots, and a drop down will happen, and on it there says turn off sales. I see that happening a lot to a lot of different coloring pages, a lot of different posts. Carol, do you think you can post that in the Just Color coloring group so that people understand that? Because that's happening to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know how to make it stop. So this is just these proximity of these dots. As we go further up this page, or further up this area, this shape that we've got here. And now I'm going to take this color and I'm going to use a solid color here for my divider line. Oh, this is not supposed to be yellow. What am I thinking? I didn't want that to be yellow. I wanted it to be this color. Oh no. I picked up the wrong one. Do you ever have that happen? What do you do at that point? Do you say, that's it? I just move on. So I'm just gonna, these are my divider, I call these my divider lines. Kind of just color those into the section. You know, I think it's crazy that the group kicked you out for doing that, because if the admin of the group knew what the heck they were doing, then they would know that that was not something that was done intentionally. Why would you be selling your coloring page? It's crazy that that's happening. That happens to me. You know what, the other thing that happens to me sometimes is I'll post something that has a photograph, and then it'll pop up and ask me, this happens on my Facebook page, not on a coloring group page, but on my Facebook business page. It'll ask me if I want to add some more information to it and add some more text. So yeah, Carol's always good for a lot of information, right? So now I'm going to add some dots to this section here, to the bottom. And let's go with some different colors. I think I'll go with some blue. And this one, I want to add some the close proximity. And because these little lines are close, if I add yellow in between, I bet it would look like green if we stepped away. So let me see if I can keep my pens in the right spot. Here's kind of a, oh no, that's brown. We don't want that. We'll use this yellow color in the middle. And then here. And then I'm just going to kind of alternate between this yellow color, which is kind of like a golden yellow, I guess, and some blue. You can really kind of get a rhythm going when you're coloring this method, too. I don't know what's happening in my head with the song that I'm playing, but something's beating, right? Some sort of drum is beating in my head. That's a pretty blue, isn't it, Sarah? Now let's see if I'm going to make a mistake on these. I hope not. So I'm doing every other, creating that pattern. And I could have done a solid color in between all of it too, but I'm going to go, why not? Just keep dotting. I'm not counting them. I don't think I ever would count them, to be honest with you. Does anybody count them? I know there was somebody that colored in our coloring group that counted them. I just don't know if I could do that. I have to draw the line at something, you know? Numbers are not my thing. Maybe if I was like into numbers, I would. Bonnie knows that numbers are not my thing because I tried to cut my own coloring books and I even screwed that up, so who knows. Carol says, I got it straightened out and they took me back, but really they should have talked to me first, as it is something that has been going on and it's not the poster's fault. I totally agree with you. Anna did a color along on Saturday night in Coloring with Candace's group, and is that the name of the group? Or Candace's Coloring Corner? I'm not sure. What is the name of that group? And she colored a page from Cupid's View. I was asleep because I didn't really sleep the night before, and I just couldn't keep myself awake. I'm sorry, Anna. But I thought maybe you would have saved the video so I could watch the replay. Is the video saved that I could watch the replay? All right, so I'm still continuing on with this section of these dots. Hey, and if you want to share this video, please do. I encourage this to be shared out. So maybe we should take a minute to share. Share. Yeah, Candace's Coloring Corner. Yes. Thank you, Sarah. I was getting the name like backwards. I was just about to say, me and it's quiet in my house, right? I heard that Anna did an awesome job, so I'm going to just trust what everyone is saying. I have no doubt in my mind that she did. And there was a free page that was given out. All right, do I have all of them? Now I can go back with my blue. Hey, I've got to get Scarlett to see what she's marking at. I don't see anything, Scarlett. Lay down, sweetie. Lay down. I did not watch the Super Bowl. I never do. I'm not into it at all. Sometimes I watch the halftime show, but even that I'm not really into. Instead of the Super Bowl, I did something even more exciting last night. I finished 18 pages for my new dangle book. You know, the book that I was drawing with the dangles, the doggy dangle thing? Well, I now have 18 pages finished. And I added some cats. The other day, somebody said to me, so what are your plans for today? And I said, practice drawing cats. That was my plan for the day. Thank you very much. Hey, Chris. I got the Amazon pencils on Saturday, Abby, saying they were soft but don't blend well, and I'm hoping it's the paper I'm using. What are the Amazon pencils? What are those? You mean Amazon Basics? Sounds like someone's chopping ice outside my house. And there's no ice to chop. It's like 60. It says 32 degrees on the thermometer, but to be honest, it feels like 60. Cannot imagine what that noise is. The other day I was thinking to myself, where can I move my color alongs to where it's quieter, where my dogs are quieter and I don't have the dogs in the background barking at the neighbors and barking at the outside noises. And then I realized to myself, would a color along really be the same without Scarlett and Paisley in the background? I know, Lynn, I was practicing cats. I drew some cats. Did you see the cats that I did? I decided to make them my own version of cat. And I was trying to figure out what about a cat could I accentuate, you know? Jamie is saying that it's 57 here, and it was negative 41 last week. Can you imagine? That's like 100 degrees warmer. And don't forget, if anybody claimed that coupon for the negative temperatures for my website, you can continue to use that until February 8th. Maybe we need to do another coupon about how hot it is now, right? Because people are going to say, wow, it feels like it's really, really hot. Some of the photographs out there are unbelievable. Ellen is saying we had the polar vortex last week. This week, it's very balmy feeling compared to last week. Where do you live, Ellen? I gave out coupons to my website last week if you told me what the negative low was, what the lowest temperature was. So if you want to still send me a message and let me know what the wind chill was it's at its coldest. You can do so, and I'll send you a coupon. So, for example, if it was negative 57 in your neck of the woods, then I would give you a coupon for 57% off a PDF coloring book. Cheryl's saying, no, I love your dogs. Lisa's saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. They don't bother me. Hey, we're all talking about the absence of Scarlett and Paisley. You know, I had a long talk with them last night. We had a dog meeting like we had the other night. I put a picture on Facebook. Did you guys see that picture on Facebook with the dog meeting? I told them that they needed to be quiet. Mary's saying, we're New Englanders. Yes, we are, Mary. Even though not into football, had to be loyal and proud. Yeah, I'm just not into it at all, Mary. You know what? I'm going to say it. I just felt like this year, with everything happening, with people being really cold and the polar vortex and people not working, that I just kind of felt like, you know, look what we're spending our money on. We're spending our money on this, you know? Oh, Michigan, Detroit area, Ellen. Yeah, you were at the coldest. Bonnie says, I would like to see a book of just cats. Well, you guys do realize that I do have a book of just cats. Everyone keeps forgetting this. I have Kitty Cat Mosaic. I don't know why everyone keeps forgetting about Kitty Cat Mosaic. Heather says, I'm not coming anymore if you take them out. Oh, thank you, Heather. No, they're not going anywhere. Where am I going to go? The other dog that was on the picture that I posted about the dog meeting, that's my niece's dog, Charlie. He's a golden retriever, and he comes over to visit them and to hang out with them and to play with them. And he just thinks that I'm just like the boss and I'm in charge. And he listens to every single thing that I tell him to do. So every time he's come over, I have made them sit down. I don't know. We did it as a joke one day, and I've made them sit down, and we said we're having a dog meeting, and I said it as a joke one day. And now every time he comes over, I line them up like that. And I make them sit, and we have a dog meeting. And that day, we were discussing how no dog should ever open a door on their own, because Paisley opens doors on her own. So we were discussing safety. It was a safety meeting. And Paisley is into opening the basement door, and then she heads down to the basement. I don't really know what the heck she's doing except just inspecting. I don't mind that she goes to the basement and inspects, but I do mind that she thinks that she can open any door in the world. So that part bothers me. Charlie is very cute. He is. Thank you, Abby. They get along. When they first met, they did not. Paisley was petrified of him. She sat in the corner, trembling, and now she likes him. I find them kissing each other in the corner. I go to look, and there they are licking each other. So it's kind of funny. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. We don't want to have them leave. Right now, they're snoozing. They're laying down, and they are asleep. What we need to get rid of is my noisy neighbors, and then we'll be all set. And then everyone will be quiet. Melanie thinks that picture would make a cute grayscale coloring page. I know, but they're white. Like Scarlett's white and black, and Paisley's cream. It didn't really seem like it had enough color in it, though, Melanie. You think? So I'm just adding dots here to the background of this, similar to what I did. Now, what I want to point out here, and I'm doing this on purpose, is that see how the proximity of these dots is is far apart. Is the distance is the same as the dots here as the dots here. So what we want to do is make sure that this part stands out. So what can we do to make that stand out? Because we can add a color to it to make it stand out. Maybe we could add a yellow, or maybe we could add a contrasting color. Maybe we could add blue, something that's going to make it pop, because it really doesn't look like it's in the front of that. So we kind of want it to be, look, these little flags to look like they're in front of the background that's there. Does that make sense? I hope. I don't know. Maybe in my head it made sense, but maybe not. Lynn is saying, I used to have a cat who opened doors. Had to put a hook and eye on every door. Well, you know, I'm about to do that, actually. I'm about to put a hook and eye on the basement door. I don't know why she thinks that she just needs to go down to the basement. I don't know what is happening down there. Maybe she's got her own meeting going on. I'm not really sure. But she is just... I don't like that she opens doors. Sometimes she opens the bathroom door. Why she does that, I don't know. I tell her all the time that she really has no reason to be in the bathroom. Apparently she doesn't agree with me. So I'm going to add some blue here to kind of make this come up top, like make it look like it's forward. I'll have to think about making these photos into coloring grayscale coloring pages, Melody. Hey, Kathy. How did you find this video? Is this your first time here at a live color along? Adding some blue here. Judy says, Charlie got barking last night because the neighbors were being loud and Curtis got mad at him. Oh, Curtis. Okay, Curtis is not a dog. I was going to say. Yeah, sometimes, but you know what? Hey, look, if they're barking, there's a reason. The other night, actually, which was really odd, is that somebody was banging on my front door. I don't know what he was doing, but it was some odd guy knocking on my front door like around 6 o'clock. It was dark out, and he had a flashlight, and he was just kind of pounding on the door. Oddly enough, no one barked. Now, that is an occasion where they should have. I don't know why they didn't. All right, so here's just that blue. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at this page right here. So this is the second page as part of the PDF packet that the group members are getting. And everyone can get this page for free too today, because that's how we're doing today's. So the proximity of the dots. So that's kind of like my takeaway of this whole thing, is what the closest of the dots, the further apart they are. Keep in mind that not every area of the coloring page needs to be filled in. So you don't have to fill in the whole thing. Maybe there could be some sort of areas that do not have an area that has dots. But rather, like this section here, I colored a solid color so that they could actually have a contrast. So the other part is that you can color an area yellow and then blue dots to create the color green. So we could also do something like that. So we did that throughout here. We added these other colors here to give an example of that. And then this section here, because these are all kind of lines next to each other, if you walked away from this area of this page, it would kind of look like it's green. Just kind of like squint your eyes a little bit, step away from it, and I bet it looks like it's green. And then I've got a couple of pages here on this packet that I've colored during live color alongs, actually. This one's a butterfly page from Butterfly Mandalas. Here's another one from Simple Bird Mosaic. So basically they're best viewed at approximately 5 feet. And then the further away from the painting the viewer stands, the less blurry the painting will be. So same rules will apply to a coloring page. So that is what this color along was all about. How we applied this to this technique of pointillism and learning about these and taking a look at these two artists to a coloring page. Does anyone have any questions about what we've done today, about pointillism, about George Seurat, about Paul Signac, how you can get this page, how you can get this packet? Feel free to, or you want to make any comments about it. These color alongs will last an hour each time because we don't want to wear out the welcome here, right? We want to make sure that we get as much information out there. I also want to make sure that I finish each coloring page like I always do with every color along, because who wants to see just one leaf colored, right? You want to see the whole thing colored. And then this page can also be found in my book, Cupid's View, which is a 24-page book of part of the View series, and has similar pages. This is actually kind of a cool book to practice this type of coloring technique, you know? And because it's got a lot of different areas, a lot of different sections of the page that can be colored. Oh, you're welcome, Lois. That can be colored in that technique, and really in any technique. So this one is Cupid's View. This book is available on Amazon. It's also available as a PDF copy on my website, hard copy on my website also. All my books are available as hard copies on my website. It's just that they take a little longer. They take like 14 crazy, grueling days is what it takes, if you ask me, to ship. So I can't really do anything about that, but Amazon, if you have Amazon Prime, then you can obviously get it a lot quicker. Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie saying, this is a great lesson today, Anne. Thank you. And I don't want it to be too like, oh my God, this is just too much information for my head. I want to just kind of be like a taste of it, and just to kind of say, hey, I learned about that, and this is the setting that I learned in, and now I know a little bit more than I knew before I started. Diana is saying, no questions, just thank you so much for the information. The book is, how much? The book is $14.99, Christine. And that gets you into the private Facebook group, and it gets you in the private Facebook group. You get access to all of this information, and there's 22 color alongs essentially. So the next color along for volume 11 is going to be Mondrian style. This is the schedule. It's already laid out, so you can take a look at this and say, okay, well, I need chalk pastels on the 11th, and I need gel crayons on the 18th, so everything is all set up. I've tried to make it extremely organized. Hey, thank you, Jeannie. Tried to make it extremely organized, and the next color along is the Mondrian style. Now, when we go over the Mondrian style, we are coloring a page from Paisley's Bubbles. The only part that's not organized is the book is not in the order of the color alongs. Because that would be I would really be a nerd if I got that. Julie, you can get the packet for free right now for the Pointillism page. I'm looking for the page for Wednesday. This is the page we're doing on Wednesday in the style of Mondrian. Mondrian was a French artist, and we're going to talk about coloring in that style. And this is a packet that's group members will get for Mondrian, a few of his paintings that you can see, kind of a little snippet, a little bio about him, and then we talk about how to apply it. So each packet will just have basically a bio, how to apply it to coloring pages, and the page with the notes. Not a lot of information. The packet's available if you go to my website and you click on printable coloring pages, freebies. It's there. It's going away after today. So that won't be available any longer after today. But I wanted to offer that to everyone. A lot of people claimed it. So it's there. It's there on the website. So when we color with this, I don't know what I'm gonna use for. Maybe I'll use colored pencils on this day. And we're really only working with 3 colors. We're going to be working only with primary colors, red, blue, and yellow on Wednesday. So we could use a variety of mediums. We could use markers and pencils. We could use gel pens. I don't know what I'll do. I've got to keep it fresh. I've got to keep it so that I pick something on that day. Don't like to plan too much. I think I'm afraid of commitment. I've decided that I just don't like commitment. So I don't want to commit to a pencil. That's the only thing I have to commit to, right? Hey, Christine. Thank you. Thanks for joining me, everyone. This was a blast. I was very excited about this color along, and I'm so happy that everyone was able to show up for this, and I'm so happy that you enjoyed it. So, color along volume 11, again, available on Amazon or available on my website. And if you have any questions going forward, you can certainly just send me a message. You can head over to my website. There's contact information there. You can always send me an email. There's a phone number. You can call me on the phone. Ask me a question. So that's about it. We will be back on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for Piet Mondrian. And I'll be wearing a beret. No. We'll be eating croissants. And that's about it. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. This was a blast. Have a great day.